I'm Edie Lush, and I'm here at the Hub Pavilion in Davos, and very pleased to be joined by a Hub Culture faithful, Dr. Tony Haymet. He's the director of the Scripps Institute of Oceanography in La Jolla, a much warmer place than we're standing in today. Tell me why you're in Davos.
Well, I was invited to be part of the environmental program here. We're talking about oceans and sustainability, fisheries, all the things that sometimes are not directly connected with economics, but we've been invited here to participate.
So tell me a little bit about what you think the argument, the debate is now on climate change. We were together in Copenhagen. It was a disaster on some fronts, perhaps all. Tell me your perspective.
Well, it was a disaster. We didn't reach any agreement, but there were some good things to come out of it. First of all, 194 countries went there, not to debate whether climate change is real or not, but to figure out how to fix it. And that's an important thing after 52 years of collecting CO2 data. The second thing is that I think the developing countries accepted some responsibility, much more profoundly than in Kyoto, that they realized they're part of the solution as well. Indeed, you know, China was really the top nation in Copenhagen, and you know, maybe it's not so successful for them that we didn't have a kind of a formal agreement, but they were clearly driving the bus.
So what are the issues, what are the kind of next steps in the things that you've been hearing here at Davos? What are the things that you're trying to present in terms of where we need to go from here?
Well, President Calderon from Mexico is hosting the next COP, COP16, and now he's moved it to Cancun. And he's determined to make some progress, so I think we should give him a chance to do that. But I think, you know, for me, that's the last chance. So I think we should pursue that. I think there's another parallel track, which is discussed a lot here, and that's to do with the fact that the top 20 countries emit 90% of the pollution, and 18 of those are in the G20. So maybe some smaller group can agree something and around a smaller table, and then try and convince the other 10% to come along. I think we should try both those things. I do think we have to do much more work before we all get together in Cancun. We can't have the leaders show up very expensively with high carbon footprint with nothing negotiated on the second last day, and that's the tragedy of Copenhagen.
Would you say that at this point we need a price on carbon more urgently than ever? Because some of the people, some of the CEOs that I've been speaking to here are saying, I'm making innovations, I'm doing things. I spoke to the CEO of Starwood Capital. He's building a green hotel chain. But he says, look, in order to get things really going, in order to get us on the level of China, who is plowing ahead, we need some action right now. And that's not going to happen.
I couldn't agree more. That was a great disappointment of Copenhagen. Every meeting I've been in here in Davos has said we need to know the playing field. We need to know where the sidelines are. We need to know where the goalposts are. And if we're going to have a cap and trade system, people want to know what the price of carbon is. An unfortunate consequence of Copenhagen, maybe the worst one, is that it creates business uncertainty. But I think people have to come away from Davos thinking there's some hope that we'll actually negotiate this in the next 11 months.
Tony, thanks so much for coming into the third Hub Pavilion. You've been with us on all three of them. We thank you very much. And I'm Edie Lush here in the Hub Pavilion in Davos.